Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of the Rouslin's opening round three ball. And we are just 1 week away from what I think is the biggest week of the year. Maybe the other three majors come pretty close, but certainly in the golfing world, it is probably the biggest week of the year, and that's of course the Masters. But I'm going to try and curb my own enthusiasm here for just a couple of days and focus on the tournament we have at hand, as there's plenty of good players, plenty of good prize pools, and plenty to play for this week, as well as there's still one Masters berth on the line for the winner of this week's tournament. As we shift right over to that, and this week's tournament is the Valero Texas Open. Valero Texas Open, like I said, is going to give away one more Masters berth to the winner if the winner has not already qualified. So certainly something to play for if you haven't already qualified. We're playing TPC San Antonio, as this course it's bounced around quite a bit in its existence. So par 72 measuring 7,400 yards. And historically, it's been one of the most penal courses off the tee, at least in recent history. But the talk is this week that because it's the week before Augusta, which we have not seen, obviously, in quite some time with this tournament, that they're going to scale back the rough and they're going to probably widen the fairways a little bit to prepare it for Augusta. So the golfers could see, a little easier than we've seen before. 12th hardest last year out of 51 golf courses played on the PGA Tour, so quite difficult. The tournament, the Texas Open itself, has been around since the 1920s and bounced around quite a few courses in the area of San Antonio. This week, because it is the week before major, we only have 3 of the top 20 in the world here, which we'll get to a couple of them in just a bit. We're going to play DFS this week. $100K to first with a $5 on DraftKings. And then they're going to give you a $50K to first for the $44 and $444 buy-ins. FanDuel is obviously also preparing for next week, as they only put out a $10K to first for the $7.77 buy-in. If you want some more information on stuff like this and a little bit more of a statistical preview, head over to the free article that I write each week called The First Cut at awesemo.com/firstcutvalero. And now also that's just going to be First Cut and then insert the tournament name. So this week, obviously, it's the Valero. But just so you know, for future, if you don't remember the URL, just remember it's First Cut and then the tournament name. So now we'll get into the golfers this week, and Rickie Fowler actually leads the board. And I know we talked about him a couple of weeks ago on this video series, but because of such a weak field, we're going to have to talk about again, as he leads the board on pretty much everywhere. DraftKings FanDuel, as you can see, his DK price $11,700 and FanDuel $12,500. Recent form, 42nd at the Players, 40th at Arnold Palmer, and 2nd at the Honda Classic. But I think what's most interesting here about this one, at least, is that he decided not to play last week to prepare for this week, as he likes to play the week before major. Maybe that's a little bit contrary to some other people and some other golfers around, but this is what Rickie has chosen to do over the last couple of years. And last year he came second in the Masters, so something obviously seems to be working. So we'll see if he can continue that. Rickie has not played here for quite some time, so no recent history to go off of. The strokes gained approach, 65th this year and 28th. Rickie's actually been doing a lot of his work on the putting green. He has been putting absolutely phenomenally lately, so 7th on the tour in strokes gained putting, so obviously that's where he's been doing a lot of his work. The next golfer that we're going to talk about, though, has been doing very little of his work on the greens, and that's Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth has had a really difficult year, call it 18 months now, since just before, I would say, the British Open, even when he won last. He has done very little. Last week he showed some form, showed some gut and showed some spirit against Billy Horschel in his first round match at the match play. Down 3 with 4 to play and ended up coming back, tying that match, won his next match, and was in great position to advance before falling short to Bubba Watson last week and missing the round of 16. So he added this tournament rather late, as he wasn't committed at any time, and certainly before Rickie. So we'll see if that helps. Now, Jordan's first visit since 2015, where he came in 2nd. In 2014, he came in 10th. But certainly back then, he was driving the ball much straighter than he is this year, and certainly playing much better on the whole. His statistical numbers are just atrocious for him. And this might be a week where he can recover, but Certainly, it's an intriguing story with, we know, Augusta right around the corner, where he has not finished worse than 11th in the last 5 years. So very compelling, obviously. A win, a second place, a third mixed in there. So very interesting to watch going into next week is Jordan Spieth. One of the guys that I think might be a contender for that last coveted Masters spot, who's not already qualified, might have a chance to win the golf tournament, is Ryan Palmer. Ryan Palmer missed the cut at the Players, priced $8,400 on DraftKings, and a little cheaper on FanDuel by relative speaking is $9,800. But before that, he came at fourth at the Honda Classic, and as you can see, it's for this golf course. Ryan Palmer, obviously from Texas, from the area. In 2017, he came sixth. In 2016, he came fourth. In 2015, he came sixth. So the course history is obviously fantastic. Look at the miscut last year too much. He really wasn't playing the best golf that he could be. And as you can see, his approach numbers are really improving this year, and he's always been very good off the tee. So Ryan Palmer, definitely one to look out for. Has had a great year and should have a chance at least to earn that last Masters berth. So until then, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it gives you at least a little bit of a start for the Valero Texas Open this week. Of course, if you want more content and my entire player pool, as well as some stuff, some great stuff from Ben Raza at Jazzraz DFS. Come on and join the Awesemo.com team. Of course, we have our private Slack channel as well if you're not already a member. So we go over a ton of stuff in there, some great strategy, especially on Wednesdays and on Fridays going into the weekend. So hope you guys enjoyed it for this. Next week, we will be back for the biggest week of the year, and that's the Masters. We're playing for $1 million. See you then, guys.